Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1551. How does a family tree work? I am so glad you asked me that question. So, first of all, I have to apologize for being on so late. I lost track of time and our walk took a little longer and all sorts of stuff. But we're here, we're present, and we have taken a deep breath and we feel very calmed and relaxed. It's kind of been a strange day. For the first time, I have had to put on long sleeves. Yeah, it was a little cool this morning. It was like 59, 60 degrees when we went for a walk this morning. And we had the windows and doors open all day until it was time to finish work and go take a nap real quick. But we're here and we're going to show you how a family tree works. Oh, I totally did not set this up. Let's see. Share a screen. I'm going to do that one. All right, let's see if we can share this because we're going to talk about family trees tonight. And let's see, did that just, would you stop? Oh, no, hang on, that's that other thing. Okay, so this here is it was a very quickly drawn family tree. I did this up as a demo. I put it in Ancestry because I knew I could get all the bits, but trying to figure out last names and all of that, we'll figure it out. Okay, so let's go for a walk through the tree. So now this is called a vertical tree, which is where you can have everybody this way, and then you can even click on these little side arrows here, and it puts the siblings out. And hang on, and you can put your children down. Hang on, starts children. Let's just go just so you can see the whole thing on the screen. So this is a vertical tree where you can see the siblings, you can see children and siblings. If you come up here, you can go horizontal. This is called a pedigree tree. And this is where you see, you just see parents. So you start with me here. My husband's here, son is here. All right. So then you've got the father, which is known as the paternal side, the mother, which is known as the maternal side. And then, so that's the parents on that level. So that's a generation. This generation here is the grandparents, and there's 4 of those. If you come to the great grandparents, you get 8 of them. The next column is your 2 times great grandparents, and you will have 16 of them. So it doubles every time. So you start with 1, go to 2, to 4, to 8, to 16, and your 3 times great grandparents, you actually have 32 people in there. It's actually quite fascinating when you count up the number of people that it takes to create just those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 generations. So to create 6 generations, you've got a lot of people in there. That doubles every time. So you got the 32 plus the 16 plus the 8 plus the 4 plus the 1s. That's 61 people just to do 3 generations. Yeah. I think that's right. 32 and 16 is 48. Plus 8 is 56. Plus 4 is 60. Plus you is 61. So it's 61 people to give you 5 generations. If you go to 6 generations, that 32 doubles to 64 people. And so you can see how quickly your tree grows in numbers. And you think about it, those 60 people before you, that makes up the first 5 generations, not counting your generation, but starting with your parents, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th one would be over here. There's 60 people involved in that. So you got to think that's you're carrying the DNA of those 60 people. Then you add on another 32, which makes it 90 people. 32, 64. Hang on, what did I say? Yeah, 32. Hang on, I'm getting myself confused here. Hang on. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 plus 64. So you've got 60 people plus 64. That's 124 people that you're carrying DNA for all of those 124 people. How cool that's kind of scary. And then but then you've got to double that last number, that 64 to 128, and add them onto that list. And you can see how quickly this thing just multiplies out. So this is called the pedigree chart. It is just mother and father on every level. You've got your paternal father, and here's his parents, which are your grandparents. Here's your mother. This is her parents, which are your maternal grandparents. Then you've got the great-grandparents, and it just keeps doubling because everybody in the tree has a father and a mother listed in the tree. Now, if we go back to the vertical one, you can even do the fan. I love the fan. The fan's really cool. This is the fan one. So you can see here, there's you, your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and then you'd have your great-grandparents, and then your 3 times great-grandparents would go beyond that. So you can actually create this fan and fill it out quite large. And when I go back and look at my own family tree, the fan chart looks amazing. So now we're going to go back over here. Oh, there's the fan. And we want to go vertical. Okay, so now that we're back to vertical, we're just going to look at we're not going to go too deep into it, but we're just going to look at basics. So you start with yourself here. And if you get married, your spouse goes here, and then any children you have come down under here. Now, what is interesting is that you then have your mother's side of the family and your dad's side of the family. And when you're looking at ancestry, the father is always on the left and the mother is always on the right. And like I said, we're just doing very basics. We're not getting into any convoluted things like divorces and second and third and fourth marriages and same-sex couples. This is just a very basic introduction. So the men are always on the right, on the left, and the women are always on the right. So if you're looking at a tree, anybody on the left-hand side is your maternal side. Anybody on the right-hand side is your paternal side. So your maternal aunt goes and gets married. She has a child. The child gets married, and they have a son. Now, what relation is this son to you? We have to go across here. So this is your first cousin. So when your aunt gets married and has a child, it is your first cousin. You are on the same generation level, first cousins. Now, your son and her son are second cousins. And you're going to go, why? And that is because you are 2 generations from the common grandparent. Okay, so they're second cousins, 2 generations from the common grandparent. Here is the grandfather and the grandmother up here for these 2 children. And it's on the maternal side. And so they are 2 generations away from the common grandparent. So they are second cousins. First cousins are 1 generation away from the common grandparent. Now, you notice it says first OR/second cousin. So if we click on it, it says first once removed and a second cousin. And you're going, okay, now what's going on? All right. So your first cousin's child is your first cousin once removed because they are their child is 1 generation away from you. Okay. If this one went and had a child, then that would be first cousin twice removed. And that's how that works. So like I said, just very basic. It's a very basic tree. So if this one here, we can actually go and add in another relative here. We'll put a child, and we will put still a first cousin. Twice removed / second once removed. And I'll explain that one in a moment. And third. So this one carries a lot. Hang on, their last name's cousin. So oops, hang on. We'll make that one a female. This one here has got a lot of titles. So first cousin, 2 generations removed. So first cousin twice removed. But they are also a second cousin because these 2 here are second cousins once removed. Okay, so second cousins, 1 generation removed. And they're also third cousins. So if this son here goes and has a relative, let's see, that would be a grandchild to you. Make it grandchild here, and we'll make this one a female as well. So we're going to put this one down. Okay, so the grandchild, this is a grandchild to you. So everything is related here with you, and then we're going to explain. So we've got this person over here is first cousin 2 generations removed from you. So first cousin twice removed. For your son here, this is his second cousin once removed. So come across here, second cousin, and they're 1 generation removed. These two here are third cousins because they are now 3 generations. So 1, 2, 3 from the common grandparents. And that's how first, second, and third cousins and removals and all of that work. And so this is kind of what a tree could look like. You could have, there could be all girls over the side that go and get married. There could be all boys over the side with their children and everything else. But this here is how this relates. So this, for example, could be my oldest stepson has 3 boys. So he would have 3 boys down here. His first cousins, to his first cousins, they are first cousins once removed because they're 1 generation removed from their from their level of generation. And then you have, when they have children, they will be second cousins to each other. And then this one over here will be first cousin once removed. So you can see how that starts working, and you can go and add spouses and siblings and all of that into the tree. But that's just a very basic look at some of the generations and things. And just remember, every generation doubles. So when you start with you, it's you singular, but then you have your 2 parents, you have 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 2 times great-grandparents, 32 3-time great-grandparents. So it just keeps growing. So if you were listening the other day when I was talking about my great-grand-uncle, and you have great-grand-uncle, what was that? Okay, so this is on my grandmother's side of the family. So my mother's side, my maternal side of the family. So there's me. Here's my mom. This is her parents here. Her siblings, my grandmother's siblings, are my grand uncles and aunts, or great aunts and uncles, whichever way you want to. It's either grand or great, depending on where you come from. So my grandmother's siblings would be great aunts and uncles to me. Anything on my grandparents' line, their siblings are great aunts and uncles to me. Now, you remember me telling you about this guy who was this tyrant and all of this, and he's in this book for Australia, for one of the worst men ever. He is my great-grandmother's brother. So that makes him my 2 times great uncle, or my grand-great uncle. It gets confusing, I know. Some countries use grand for the great aunts and uncles, and some use great. So where I come from, he was my second great uncle. I don't know what you're moaning about. You've been for your walk. So my grandmother's uncle is the one that had all the issues, and he was the one that was my 2 times great uncle, or my great grand uncle, whichever way you want to look at it. But he was a brother here. And then her mom is my second great grandmother, and she was the one that we talked about that died when my grandmother was like about 11 or something. And they had to remove the pantry door off and put it on the table to put her body on there and prepare her for burial on the pantry door, because the table wasn't long enough to hold her body. And my grandmother always remembered that story. Yes. You want me to do your tree? Okay. We'll do your tree another time, okay? All right. Sorry, somebody just wanted some loving. So I hope that works out for you and just helps you. You can just see, this is just a very basic tree that we've done here, just so that you can have a look at it and see how everybody fits in and all of that. And then we can just click on these little ones to hide them. And you always know there's somebody there, because that doubles on Ancestry. It puts these little figures here, so you know that there's other areas to come. And then it also puts little down arrows as well. And this one here, we can hide the siblings. So now you're just looking at the line at the pedigree line, which if we turn it sideways, that's all you will see anyway. And you will see the pedigree line, and it will go out and keep going out and all of that sort of stuff as well. So that is just a very quick look at a tree. Hope that helps you understand family trees just a little more and how cousins work. If you have questions regarding family trees and how the relationships work and everything else, feel free to drop us a line. We're more than happy to answer your questions and help you understand the family tree a little more. And you can also go and grab a copy of Family Tree Decoded at familytreedecoded.com. and get a copy of the book Family Tree Decoded, which goes through some of this stuff along with other things that you will need to look at when you are looking at researching your family tree. So if you have questions regarding family tree research, regarding relationships, how do you put somebody in, then just let us know. We're more than happy to assist you with that. And I love answering questions. So that's it from us for today. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. And hopefully my doorbell will not be ringing. I'm not putting my front, because it's Halloween, of course. And at 6 o'clock, they'll probably be all out Halloweening, trick-or-treating, or whatever it is. I don't do trick-or-treating, so my front light will be off. Maybe I'll do this from the back family room. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.